Good morning, it's John. Finished fishing. Well, I guess it's morning where you're at. Hell, it might be night time you watch this video. But it's Saturday morning here in Virginia. I got this D.A.M 330, which is gotta be probably one of the best reels ever made. They're tanks, but this one has a problem. It'll turn in reverse, partly. But I don't know, it's all messed up. So this one's going to require the second cup of coffee today. Let's see what we can do with it. It's no secret I love these D.A.M reels. I've got a bunch of them. I collect D.A.M reels. I don't have anything that's super rare. But, goodness gracious. Well, we might have to work a little extra on that one, huh? Even the spool's messed up. The quick release on the spool. There we go. Well, no, not quite. So what I think is one of the hardiest reels ever made has some problems. There we go. Yeah, just a good run in a parts washer will fix that. Let's see what we got for a drag. Yeah. Well, anyway, it appears to be missing a couple of drag washers. I do think I got some spare parts for these reels. Because, like I said, I collect them, and, you know, sometimes you end up buying one that's just for parts or whatever, so. No, I think it's all there. So it had a metal washer, a fiber washer, an eared washer. Yeah, it's all here. A fiber washer, and then a keyed washer. So it's keyed, fiber, eared, fiber, keyed. That's correct. Just didn't look right. So we'll leave that alone. So, with that said, pretty well documented. These screws they put in these D.A.M reels are, they have a really fine head on them. And I use a quarter drive ratchet, just cheap. I probably picked it up at a yard sale. Quarter drive socket with a quarter drive bit in it. It's a fine, very fine straight blade screwdriver on it. It allows me to get a hold of those screws and hopefully not mess them up. I came real close to that. Screw's gonna need to be replaced. Yeah, they're not coming out of there. So, right off the bat, I'm going to have to go find some screws for it. Yeah, I don't even know if I'll be able to get this reel apart. Yeah, this reel's probably not going to come apart. So, these screws are no good, and I don't even know how I'm going to get them out of there. I've never had this happen before. Somebody's tried to take it apart before and completely messed them up. Well, don't really know where to go with this. Go ahead and just get physical with it. Probably end up breaking my screwdriver bit. Alright, got one. That one's just not going to go. Alright, I got two out of three. Alright, hang on just a minute. I'm going to show you how I deal with these issues when I come up on them. Sometimes you got to get forceful with it. You can't let it beat you. Okay, well, we're going to get the Dremel out. I highly recommend a Dremel, and I'll show it to you. They have these at Harbor Freight. Great kits for like $29. Good Lord, there's probably, if you buy all that stuff from Dremel, it'd be hundreds of bucks. And you use it up and go buy you another one. You know, if you're fixing reels, you're going to need them. We'll change out I'm going to put a cutting disc on here. So at this point, these screws are done. And there's no point in trying to keep them. And a couple things I'm going to do here. We must protect the coffee at all costs. So coffee's going up out of the way. I don't want metal shavings in my coffee. These are safety glasses. I don't have side shields, but they are safety glasses. And here we go. We're going to cut a bigger slot. Okay, let's see if that did any good. We'll go to a bigger screwdriver because it's a bigger slot now. Let's see if I can get... Yeah, okay, we got the screw out. I've got more of these screws, okay? Not the end of the world. We'll put my kit back up. I love doing this stuff. That Dremel, by the way, is like 40 years old. I've had it for a long time. They last forever. Yeah, got a little bit of stuff on the table here. So, like I said, I've got extra screws over there. I'm not too worried about these screws, and I did it without messing up the actual reel itself. And I suspect this reel's broke because somebody just couldn't get it apart to go in there and fix it. I think what's going on is the anti-reverse lever is locked up in there. It's an unusual situation for these reels. So that cover comes off. You can see all that grease in there. We'll clean that up good. There's those screws that are now useless. This cover comes off. It's just full of grease. Now, we are going to, there's an E-clip right here. Yeah, we're going to take that E-clip out. Those usually come out pretty easy. You don't fight those too much. There's a small screw there that needs to come out. It holds the cross wind to the shaft. Let's see if I can get that dude out of there. Yeah, we're going to have to go to our Harbor Freight screwdrivers to get that out. That's a small little screwdriver. And you can pick up a set of these. This is something you need for working on these reels. It's these eyeglass or precision screwdrivers from Pittsburgh. They are a lifesaver. See, just perfect for these little small screws like this. That screw is also a pin, and it goes through that shaft. You can pull that shaft out. That shaft is just nasty too. Now, with that out of the way, there's some shims on this crosswind lever, so don't lose them. You've got one on the outside and one on the end, and I don't think it really matters because it's going to just take up space, you know. So there is that. Now, where D.A.M gets you on these reels is you can pull this out, but you can't remove all this without removing this handle right here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to knock that pin out of the handle. And what's really important to know when you start driving these pins out is you match your pin driver to the size of the pin. That's a cold roll pin. These pins, I bought a whole set of them. They're all from, gosh, 1/8 of an inch all the way up to a 1/4 of it, or 3/8 of an inch. They're made for working on firearms. They're made by Wheeler. Very good company. Highly recommend. Got pins coming out. Just takes a little bit. It's a fight, you know. Alright, that's out. There's your pin. Pull your pin driver back out. There's your handle. Good to go, ready to clean. Pay attention to how this comes apart. You got a washer. Your handle tightening nut for where you can fold the handle down and then fold it back up and tighten it. It comes off. There's no washers inside of that. There is an E-clip right here. It's a pretty good size E-clip. It comes off. All this stuff's just gunky. And then there's a shim on this side. Now let's take it apart and see if there's a shim on the inside, because sometimes there is. This is going to come out of there. And I don't see a shim. I don't really see why it was locking up yet. I don't take this out. I'll leave that in there. I'll clean that up. Yeah, so the problem with it locking up's out here. I think I know what's going on. It's with the spool or the bell trip. All right, so let's take probably a 13. 12. Oh, I know what it is. I use a 1/2 inch. It should be this one right here. Half inch and 13. For those of you who aren't mechanics and don't work on stuff every day, it's the same thing. 26.2 millimeters is 1 inch, right? Something like that. So now here, up under this, pay attention. You got a wavy washer. You got your nut, your wavy washer, and then you got your eared washer. Those are important to keep in place. Here's the problem. Okay, you see, that's up under that. That's not supposed to be up under that. Oh, Lordy. This reel, I could have fixed it pretty quick, actually, but for all intents and purposes, since we're trying to learn, we'll take this nut back off, and then that, yeah. So what it is, the bell wire is bit, and somebody went jacking on it and didn't get it bent back right. So let me show you what's going on here. Should have paid attention to that one before I took it apart. This was up under there, so I allowed this to stick back too far, and it was hitting the trip. Okay, and that's why it wasn't. Now, and this bell wire is bent. It's bent like this. Just I'm gonna have to kind of take my hands and just kind of straighten it out a little bit, and it'll be fine. Let's finish taking the reel apart. Something else you're going to need is a set of these snap ring pliers. You're going to work on D.A.M quick. Come on. Take that snap ring out. Okay. Underneath that, you got a wavy washer. You've got a shim, which you may have to. Okay, there's the shim, and let me show you a bearing. All I can say is wow, they put bearings in these things. Sometimes to get this out, put your nut back on there, because it's not wanting to pull out for me. So there's a little ridge in there somewhere it's holding it. So you can put your nut back on there. Come on, John, get your fingers working. I need the rest of that coffee. Yep. Sometimes we'll give you something to pull on. Well, okay, so that didn't work. So what else? What's your other option? Put the rotor back on it. Start your nut on there. Make sure you've got good thread engagement. Okay. Now that's not engaged good. It's cockeyed now. Cross-threaded, I meant to say. Oh, come on. This is awesome. I got it on there and got it stuck. Let's take that thing and get the thread engagement just right. When they're dirty like this, it's kind of hard to do. I'm not gonna lie. Goodness gracious. Come on, John. I'll be back. I gotta go take care of something first. Hang on, folks. Okay. Had to take care of something here at the house. Apologize for that little gap in the video there, but we'll get that on there. And golly, I don't know why that. There we go. Just need a little more patience is all. Okay, so you can thread that on there. Make sure you got good thread engagement. And get a hold of the rotor and pull, and there you have it. No harm, no foul. Now, I sometimes can pull these bearings off these shafts. I know you can always drive it off, but what I have learned is just leave it alone. The bearings are usually no problem on these things. I'll clean this. I will not put this in ultrasonic. I will clean this in WD-40, in my WD-40 tank, and I'll clean it out good, blow it out good, and it will be good as new. I'm just wiping. I'm sorry I got off frame there, but I'm just gonna get the heavy grease off of it, and this thing is going to run like a brand new reel. So we're in good shape on this reel. I just got to do some pre-cleaning before I put it in tanks. Let's go ahead and take the rotor apart. We'll take this nut off the bell wire here. Sometimes they can be a little bit of a bear. This reel's not corroded. I wouldn't think it's been using any kind of salt water or anything, just by looking at it. And you know, I take something people have asked, why do you take a reel so far apart? Well, I'm a collector, and so therefore I restore what I buy, and so I tear it all the way down, right? So I don't want to come apart for some reason. Take your non-marring side of your hammer, tap on it, and it'll pop. There is a star washer underneath there. See if I can get that to, yeah, there it is. There's a little star washer underneath that nut. And then this will pull out. And then you got your roller. And we've already got this nut kind of loose. And you know, if you think about what happened with this reel, it could have been fixed in the field with a coin. Because all you need to do is loosen this up, pop this back in place, and then tighten it back down. So the failure to this thing was not terminal. It was not something you couldn't fix in the field, and even while you were fishing, you know. And underneath this one's going to be your bell wire. So you'll take this screw out of here. Is this a reel I would put on my shelf for collection? No, this reel's going to go up for sale. I've got a really nice 330 already in my collection. Don't need 2 or 3 of them or whatever. So that's your bell wire or return spring. I don't take this apart. It's very hard to punch that retaining pin out, and that's the only place it can get dirty is right there, and lock it up. So you can clean all that without taking it apart. So I'm not going to bore you with all the detailed cleaning on this reel, but I will show you how I do it. Why not? Here we are. You know, let's do this thing. First thing I do is just take an old rag and set it close by to you here, and you're going to take a small precision screwdriver and go through each one of these teeth on the worm gear. Don't want to dig into them, but just pull the crud out of them. Give the parts washer or whatever you're using to clean with. In this case, it's going to be WD-40 and a brush when I get over to that tank. But I'm just going to go through and I'm going to pull all that old hard grease out of those teeth that were slowing this thing down. And then I'll scrub it out good. And this reel will be like brand new. And there's some grease up in here too. We'll go ahead and get all that out. Or at least kind of get it knocked loose. These parts are going to soak for a couple of days because I got other things in life to do. It's the weekend, man. I'm going to get out and enjoy this warmer weather we're having. I don't think I'm going to get any fishing done because we've had a lot of rain and flooding here, but you know, we'll get out and enjoy what we got. On this, you've got each one of these little pockets. There's little cups of grease in there. Of course, my parts washer is going to do a pretty good job on this part. You're going to be amazed. But we're going to, like I said, you got to give it all the help you can, because look at this mess over on this side. just get your screwdriver up in there and pull that out, and the parts washer will do the rest. Now, that's in pretty good shape. There's a little bit of grease on that. This reel here had minor problems, but not bad. Go around and get this grease off of here. Like I said, these parts are going to soak for a good while. There's a lot of chunky stuff up in here. So the rag I'm using was the rag that was down for the last reel I did here. And I just, you know, I just reuse them until I can't get any more use out of them. These are just Scott shop towels. Buy them by the box. They're not that expensive in my opinion for what I get out of them. There, see that housing is right pretty actually, you know. We got the plate, side cover, whatever you want to call it. Just scrape that off. Lots of grease in that little cover. It was all upside down. That's why I say somebody had been into this thing. They over tightened those screws. And so that's something else I got to do is go find the right screws. I'll do that here in just a minute. That's done. And I won't bore you with the rest of the cleaning process, but this reel is going to be really nice when I get done with it. And you guys are going to get to see a nice looking 330. It came up in a discussion the other day, and I did a video about, I debate on whether I'm going to actually post it or not. But one of the guys at work, or not at work, I was at work. I talked to a person who's into prepping, and he's like, or survival stuff. And he said, if you could, since you're a real, you know, fishing guy, what would you pack to survive on? What reel would it be? And for some reason, the first reel that came to my mind is this 330 by D.A.M. It's a very durable reel. It's very easy to work on for the most part. That screwdriver, the screws they use, they're a pain. You'd have to have a screwdriver for that, but you pretty much could fix this whole reel with a screwdriver and a socket if you didn't have to knock the pins out of it. So I thought of the 330. And then I also went on to say, well, you know, pin 712, Greenie or Z, a Shakespeare 2062, Royal Maroon, great reels. And, you know, there's several, really. But honestly, this is a very tough reel. I mean, look at these gears. You're not gonna, there's not a fish alive, I think, it's gonna mess those gears up. And you know, I kind of suggested one of these. I said also maybe pack you for smaller fish a Zebco 33. Very little aggravation. It will catch a fish. If you're looking for dinner, you don't want to. It's not about the sport. It's about living, right? And you know, go ahead and pack you a little Zebco 33 and a little bait casting rod to go with it, and you can catch a trout, bass, whatever on that, crappie, bluegill, warmouth, whatever you're going for, and you'll be a happy man by the campfire eating. So go clean this stuff up. I'll be back. I'm back. I've got this beautiful 330 cleaned up, ready to put back together. Let's do the rotor first. I actually got this done in the same day for once. I'm on a roll this morning. But your bell spring goes in like this. Look how clean everything came out. My parts washer is amazing. I really love that thing. On these D.A.Ms, you don't really have to set the bell spring. Now, both these screws are the same, so you just pick one. Okay, get the thread started on it. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a challenge because there's not a lot of head on that screw, and you know, give it a little help with some oil and run that down in there. Like I said, you don't set the bell spring on this D.A.M 330. You do it. Well, it kind of sets on its own. Is what I'm trying to say. You do have to set this side, so let's lubricate this. And man, it just came out beautiful, didn't it? You just hold that in place and set your screw on this side. This is why I say this is one of the reels I would pick if I could go hand pick a reel out of my collection. Put this reel on a 7-foot rod, medium, light maybe, and carry a couple of spools because I've got several extra spools for these reels. And you could go into survival mode for quite a while with this thing. You catch a lot of different fish. You know, but that might be optimum for every situation, but it would definitely do the job. Your line roller goes on. Make sure you got some oil on there. And you bring this around. Remember I said that bail wire was bent? Well, here we go. This is where it's going to bite you. That should line up fairly easily with that. It's not too far off. Let's give it just a little bit of a tweak here. All right, that should be perfect. Okay. Just roll it on me there. And we'll give that a little bit of grease. Rotate your bail arm bail arm around. It should kind of fall right into place so I haven't fight it too much. And then you got your star washer and lock nut. And that is the rotor assembly. That's how easy these things are. Now you do have to have some special tools, or not special tools, but not maybe tools you carry in a pack out kit or whatever. You should have some eyeglass screwdrivers. They may do the trick for you. Look how smooth. It locks over, and of course this fires it. And see, that's perfect. What can I say about that? The bearing came out really clean. I hand scrubbed that bearing. It's got just a little bit in there. I'm not going to use a thin oil in it. I'm going to use a thicker oil. And that really, because these bearings did get grease, and I'm not going to grease them. We're going to do the oil thing. Look at that. God, it's beautiful, 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 beautiful. Okay, what I do, I pre-coat. You remember how I had to pull that out with the rotor because the bearing was kind of stuck in there, and then I'll reach through and I'll lubricate that bore right there because this goes up into that. I'm gonna lubricate the heck out of this gear. But look at these things, man. You could use this thing for a winch. It's just got an incredible amount of gear contact in it. These worm gears are strong. I mean, I can't say enough good things about these reels. And that will slide down in there. Sometimes you gotta help it just a little bit. Get it lined up good on this end. There we go. Now, you had this brass washer, which goes in there and it kind of protects. I'm going to go ahead and hit that with some more oil. Can't hurt, right? This brass washer goes in. Shim, washer, shield, bearing shield, whatever you want to call it. Then it got this wavy washer, and then it got the snap ring. It doesn't matter where you put those hooks on the snap ring. You can put them at any location. It's not going to interfere with anything. Make sure this thing doesn't go flying on you. They have a tendency sometimes. And so there, There you go. Look at that. Now we're going to go ahead and put the rotor on. Let's lubricate that really good so nothing gets stuck there. And put the rotor on there, and the rotor has this eared keyed washer that goes down there. So you got to kind of rotate it around until you can get the, well, I did it wrong. Okay, I'm running out of fingers here. Kind of got to get it lined up in there. It goes down on there. And yeah, it just got the, I don't remember having a washer underneath there. Maybe it did. I got 2 drag washers. That goes on there. No, there's no washer under it. Take your 13 millimeter and give it a little bit of snug up there. Well, this is a 1/2 inch actually, but 13 millimeter is the actual size. This is European, so they like the metric crap over there. Okay. Set that aside. So you've got, and you can check your bell trip. See here? Alright, so we're working there. Let's build the shaft. They had a lot of grease on that clicker. I don't really put a lot of grease. I don't like a lot of grease on the clicker. So shaft goes down in there. We're going to oil that. You can back it out if you want to and coat it really good for both ends. Push it up in there. I don't like grease in these shafts. It slows them down. And then you've got shim, E-clip. Okay, make sure it works. You can put that in no anti-reverse. It's made where you can flip the handle so you can go it either way. But we're going to put it in no anti-reverse for now. Next, it took I want to say, because that doesn't fit inside of there yet. So this goes on. I've done so many of these things you think I'd freaking know by now. I bet you I've rebuilt 30 of these reels in my lifetime. This nut goes on there. Tighten it all, well, just bring it all the way down. Okay. And you get a wavy washer. Why does it not look right? I put that in the wrong place. We'll come back to that. You get this Teflon washer. I left that off of there. I'll fix that. My bad. Okay. You're going to put your handle on here. Line your pin up. And take your hammer. And hopefully get it to drive home. There we go. Just knock that pin in. And then you should be able to crank that up and it'll tighten against that handle and you're good to go there. Now what I did wrong, remember I stuttered for a second. I thought there's a washer that goes there. There is a washer that goes there. Take that nut back off. Like I said, I've done so many things. If I see something wrong and I don't really right off recognize it, that's where the wavy washer went. And put your nut back on there. Things will stop me dead in my tracks, but it doesn't dawn on me right away. What did I miss there? So that's right. That's the way that went. So we're good there. Handles together. We're going to grease all this up. I love these reels. I don't know how many times I gotta say that, but I don't fish with them as much as I used to. I fish with the micro light and the 110 every once in a while. I don't fish with the heavier, the bass size reel. I actually like using a little bit more modern reels on bass sometimes. Not for smallmouth so much, but. And I put the anti-reverse lever down. Some people put it to the back. You can put it wherever you want to. I like it down like that. Okay. We're not gonna do anything else with that just for the second here. You had 2 washers, shims. One goes down on the gear. Here's your crosswind lever. And then that goes on there. Kind of gotta push it all together. And left that in the Hart's washing tray. But there's an E-clip. Goes on there. Kind of hard to get the fingers down there. You can get it. You want to snap that in place good. You don't want that to come apart. That will lock the reel up. So make sure you got make sure that's in place. Not sure what I did just there. Oil that up good. It doesn't hurt to put some grease around that gear where it kind of rubs every once in a while right there too. Now your shaft, put it in here and put some oil on it. I'm going fast. I got stuff to do today and I want to go ahead and get this done. I like this reel. Sometimes you gotta, to get this to line up, you gotta finagle things. There we go. Push that shaft into that crosswind lever and line that hole up for that pin to go in there. You'll feel it drop in. I use these Harbor Freight eyeglass screwdrivers like I took it apart with. I'll put it back together with. You notice I'm holding this thing together because this is not bolted on yet because I don't have the plate, the gear, the housing cover on it yet. So now I put a little bit of grease in those holes, and that way when I push the screws through, and I did find some screws, they will pick up some of that grease. Go ahead and put cover on. The emblem cover. Start your first screw once you get the first one going. Okay, they're not beautiful screws, but they will work just fine. Let's get those down. Let's get one started now, kind of get the whole thing in there. Okay, got that one started. The rest of them will go without any problems now. This is the only thing you would have to have a screwdriver to fit it. If you were out in the field, the rest of it could come apart with basic hand tools. Don't want to over tighten these things because they are a booger to get back out on in a good situation. Okay. Now let's see how it works. Look how smooth. That's if you were to switch the handles the other side. There's the anti-reverse. Isn't that beautiful? Just a thing of beauty. All right, let's build this thing here. I'm not going to use the cowls on this. These are pretty hard fiber washers. Let's just put a dab of oil around it, put the washer on there. We'll put that on next. Okay, this had a metal washer down in there. It seems like it should have a fiber washer there. That's what I was thinking was missing when I took it apart. So hang on, let me go find it. I think I know where one is. It is missing a washer. Hang on just a second. Well, this thing got more stops than a city bus. I had to this video's I have to make a washer. I can't find anything. So what we're going to do is, I got some drag material here. We're going to make what we need. Trace it out. Okay. Now that's going to be bigger than what I'm going to need, so I'm going to trim it out. See if I can find everything I need here. To get the center hole, I got a leather punch. We'll put it on the biggest hole. And we may have to trim it out even from there, but we'll line that up. And give that a punch through. You got a hole. Neat old tool. Picked it up in a yard sale or something. All it's got to be able to do is go over that shaft, but we're still going to have to trim it down. But anyway, we'll get to that in a second. Go around the inside of this. And okay, I'm back again. I had to make a part, so it was missing a drag washer, so I made this washer, and it goes down in there. I'll have to stuff it in there a little bit. It's not quite perfectly the size, but it will work. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go. Then it got a metal washer, fiber washer. Let's put a little bit of oil in there just so it won't set up. You got an eared washer, another fiber washer, and then an eared washer, a keyed washer. And then we push everything down in there good. Yeah, that's perfect. It lined up just right with it. Because that's what tipped me off if this was built wrong. When I went to take it apart, the snap ring was like way above the drag washers. Now it's perfectly above them. And this is a usable reel again. Put a little bit of oil on the line out clicker. And this goes in from the bottom. Let's put a little bit of oil on here. Okay, got to take it back apart. I see a problem. Sorry about that. Easily fixed. So what happened is this washer that I made is too small on the inside diameter, so just a little bit of trimming with my scissors here will take care of that. Keep trimming, John. Just keep trimming. There we go. It'll go over that. All right, we'll put the drag back together. Yeah, like I said, this reel's posed a couple of neat challenges, but that's okay. We'll get it together here. You got to see how you make a drag washer. Or how I make a drag washer. I've done a few of them over the years. Got that back together. Now we can push this in there. Yeah, well, helps if you line everything up. Let's push it back out and start over again. Yeah, I'm challenged today. What can I say? I do not have the snap ring in there good. Goodness gracious, John. There we go. I gotta rotate this around until I get everything lined up. There we go. There it is. A little bit of grease on those threads. Put your knob on there. Let's see how I did on the drag. Oh yeah. Very usable drag on that. Let's see if, yeah, the quick release works. Well, there it is. Kind of a challenging little reel, but I appreciate y'all watching. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel, and that way you'll get notifications on new content, and come on back and watch me get challenged on another reel. It's John, Advantage Fisherman. Thanks for watching.